Welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United.
Remember the comment he made?
I got from varsity.
Wrong Ryan.
Ryan.
And the only thing, you have players out there.
I think the fellas will take it more serious.
What grade?
That one had to go.
Yes, because at the end of the day, right now Manchester United are
Welcome fellas, welcome everyone and welcome to All In, All United. I see at least we in unison, man. Everybody wearing the red, the Manchester red, you know.
We committed, man. We committed.
All I realize
Committed to the red side of Manchester.
all I realize a certain chef here, right? After all the gun
Only
talk last-
because thinking you harassment. Good night, brothers. Good night.
Yeah,
Hope everybody doing well.
Man. Yeah, man. So fellas, we inside. And
It's serious business, but read without the hat.
Yeah. Score-wise, fellas, you know, this went a lot better than I thought it would, you know?
I'm coming out and come back in. My volume does get trouble, right? I'm coming back in.
No problem. Yeah, man, no problem. Yeah, fellas. So, again, as I was saying, you know, score-wise, this went a lot better than, I thought it would have, you know? But then again, most times, you don't have to lose 6 or 7-0 to be embarrassed. You know, you could lose 2-0 and be humiliated. And we saw that happen sometime last season, no season before, when City beat we 2-0.
Yeah, like a training. Yeah, like that. Yeah, whole game.
last season.
Yeah. Pep didn't make a single substitution. And listen, that was humiliating. You know?
Session for them.
Yeah. And the thing about it, fellas, is already golf in class, it was so evident, you know, from a technical standpoint, from a tactical standpoint, although we're extremely far off City. You know, and again today for large parts of the game, it was attack versus defense kind of scrimmage now. You know? And I think I mentioned it in the last podcast that my expectations aren't, you know, up there anymore. So I was watching the game, knowing that we're not good. So I'm not feeling.
Just a matter of time. Yeah, just a matter of time before City, you know, unlock we. It was just a matter of time. We knew that.
So I'm not disappointed with the result. You know, I'm more indifferent really. You know. Anyway, fellas, how we feeling? How we feeling? What going on?
It is as was expected. So I guess the feeling is as you would have said, I think that the right word is a different feeling, you know. And we move on. You know, and we kind of sort of chalk off the days of the calendar till the end of the season, you know, and really see, you know, what's the plan for next season, you know, and if it is to make because even for now, trying to say we're gonna make a run in the FA Cup, as hopeful as it is, I don't think we've seen enough on the pitch to really give us the fighting chance now, you know. So just to really make it to the end of the season and see what happens, you know, and see what this Ineos team really have for Man United to bring them back. As I say, they want to dispose City in 3 years, right? So yeah, good luck.
Yeah, the last time a gentleman made that kind of big talk, he jumped on the line right now, eh? Eras come to an end.
Yep.
Go through.
Well, same like in a room. I was checking like the emotions before I come on the podcast to see how our commenters start now, and it was like, you know, right now feeling how like I felt worse with the Fulham game than I feel today.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's because you kind of know,
100%.
you know where our levels at. So you really kind of, and especially second half when I see Pep holding his head, when that camera pans to Pep holding his head, I was like, wait, but I like the play there. Pep is a performer. Pep likes to do us things like that. He likes to perform for the camera, so he make it look like he's so under pressure. And then his team just come out and do what they had to do to follow his plan and they win the game. So from the
Yeah.
time I see that before that second half kick off, I was like, all right, so we get a 1-0 half time, we win the first half. This is the half.
Yeah, we win the first half. We go through. Simeon, what you saying?
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, I think I'd be coming here, in black with a brown paper bag over my head. I figure it'd be a bit early, but I don't feel too bad. I mean, it is what it is. We all them men on Instagram and just like everybody's waiting for a 6-0, 6-1. So I mean, I think we played a lot. I would say a lot better than I thought we played, but I think Ten Hag is not a madman. Ten Hag makes sure we embarrass ourselves. He changed the formation, so we gonna look how we look. Everybody was the formation was decent. So I mean, and the guys could play. I mean, but we knew what was going to happen. Even when we went up, we know Celtic will wear us down. And we knew, I mean, we don't have the sub to come in and, if you're going to chase the ball all game, you have to have reinforcements. And we didn't have that. So I think for once, I'll come on and say they did a good job today. I can't fault their performance given what they had. For what we had, today was a decent result. All the injuries we have that we forget. I mean, normally I don't go to injuries because we are a deeper team than most teams as far as talent wise. But against City, you need everybody. We had like 10. I mean, Martial, Hoyland, Martinez, Maguire. I mean, we were really depleted. I think this game, we play against City, you can't go in depleted. And I think we saw what happened when the subs came on. There was no relief. So for once, I wasn't really, I wasn't really upset with this team. I thought they did what they could do.
Yeah. Phil, what are you saying?
I mean, we all know. We I don't know why I'm not speechless. I'm just in shock that there's some United fans out there, not you guys, but there's some United fans out there who thought two things: we could get a result versus City, and that's one, and two, they thought we could hold on to a 1-0 over City at Etihad. We could even hold on to a 1-1 draw at home versus Fulham, and people were out there expecting us to hold on to a 1-0 lead, right? So that's the embarrassing part. Fans thinking that. I'm kind of not surprised by how Marcus Rashford played today in terms of, he scored a goal and you think that's going to lift his confidence to play better in the upcoming minutes, and lo and behold, he goes into a shell. He did that twice this season so far. I think it was against Arsenal, and then there was some other game where I think Bruno gave him a penalty. He scored it, and then that entire match where he scored that penalty, he played shit. Lo and behold, scores a rocket today. What he did today, he gets so frightened of Kyle Walker. So frightened. Why? Why are you frightened of Kyle Walker? You're 26 years of age. You're faster than Kyle Walker. Kyle Walker's fast. Don't get me wrong.
Nah, but what, Phil? You see that
not Kyle
experience
Walker.
Kyle Walker have with his pace? Nah, boy.
And the
man
aggression
just-
too. And he aggression too.
I don't
Ah,
care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
That's
I
Russian and them
don't
don't know to use
care.
the body, boy. The Russian and don't know to use the body.
Marcus-
I don't
Marcus
care.
Rousseau.
There were two
Marcus
incidents. There were two
Marcus Stewart.
instances today. There were two instances today where Marcus Rashford could have had the better of
Yep.
Kyle Walker.
Yep.
I said in the last instance, he looked for a foul. When you're looking for a foul and you're already ahead of the guy who won.
Yep.
And you head the ball forward in the first half. How on God's green earth in physics you just head a ball down and it's good behind you? You can't put that much spin on the ball. Two instances today he could have the better of Kyle Walker. And he was so frightened. That's a man that is not only informed. That's a man that's not only not informed, but a man who has no confidence in himself whatsoever.
Yeah. Chef, just your opening thoughts. What are you saying?
Good night, everybody. Well, no surprising with the score. I guess the little bit surprise is the amount we get. But today, just quick. Of course we're gonna talk more, but our inability to hold on to the ball, our inability to be brave, and the sheer gulf in class between the two teams. That was it. It had no maths in that. To be quite honest, the fellas and them really gave a performance that I can't kill them for. But we as Manchester fans also have to recognize our team just not that good. One, our players does go missing bad, and we have no midfield. So when you put all them things together to go up against the juggernaut that is City, 3-1 is as good as it could get, to be honest. So really.
True that. Guys who watching, don't forget to like and share the podcast, right? We want to get more people in on the content. Let me just get some comments while we're at it. Satellite on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining.
Good night.
Good night.
Right? Chris on the inside, good night to you, man. Thanks for
Good
joining.
night, brother.
Eric Lewis on the inside, good night to you, man. He's saying more delusional post-game comments from Ten Hag. Right? We commented that because that's what I have up next, right? Aaron Charles on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying Ten Hag bringing on all those kids like he have Champions League game on Tuesday to play. Not one player played good today. And no one think that United could have got a point in this game, totally dominated in both halves. They were just a little unlucky not to score more. Right?
What kids he talking about though?
Ten Hag got a choice?
Forcing
But Ten Hag got a choice?
Right now, Ten Hag playing who fit,
Yeah.
I think we need to understand.
Ten Hag playing Forson and Kwambala. That really.
And Kwambala to me was solid.
Yeah.
I find Forson didn't look bad when he came on,
No, he didn't. We have to understand the right now. He playing who available and who fit in.
Correct.
Remember how much injuries we have. So we can't kill him for that.
Yeah.
Vinny Marshall on the inside, good night, man. He's saying those last-minute subs is what killed us. I really hope Amrabat is on the next flight back home. He's been horrible. I think Ten Hag said that the Johnny Evans and the Marcus Rashford subs were them fellas was injured, right?
Them fellas was injured.
Yeah. Aaron Charles, he also saying here 22-year-old Foden destroyed the team yet again. Can't even remember we having a world-class player at the age of 22. Throw all those youths away.
Wait.
Mason Greenwood. No, stop.
Now watch me. Earlier, Aaron always extreme.
Alright.
But boy, you real
We have
off tonight.
plenty. We have plenty. But anyway, let me go.
Manchester has some kind of fans, but my
I can say something here right now. Anthony, if you want to stay at Manchester United come next season, watch all of Phil Foden's videos. Just watch all of them and try to emulate him.
He could try all he want, Phil. He had a skill set. He had a
He
skill
don't have
set.
that
He could
skill
try
set.
all he want. He can't do
You
that.
don't have that skill
Phil,
set.
he can't do
That
that.
different type of player. That different type of player.
Then Phil Foden, real effing bad, you know.
Wait, but Chef. Well, I'm a big fan of Phil Foden. I have been watching Phil Foden when he was on tour with Manchester City, when Mario Balotelli was there back in the day.
Yeah.
No, I can tell Arsenal fans this right now, but Kyle Saka is nowhere on the same level as Phil Foden. Nowhere.
Saka bad, but Foden, boy,
Not
Jesus
as bad
Christ.
as Foden.
Yeah. Simeon?
You watch Phil Foden like tackle. The man do half tackle, you know.
No, boy.
Tackle hard. That man
Exactly.
tackle.
And
You see when you put
like in fact we don't tackle nobody.
No,
You see when
don't
we run down Anthony, and Anthony's such a jackass. He looked to turn back into him and get bat like a real bam bam. Boy, Foden, and you know what I like about Foden is he's a small guy, but as you rightfully say, Foden don't shy away from nothing.
Yeah. Go ahead, Simeon.
No, that's my issue. Like, you know, I told Kareem, I thought Rashford played better today. I used the word better today. Not
Oh,
as
he
in good,
was.
but better than he normally plays.
Yeah.
But when you up against Foden and you watch the difference, you're like, it's better.
Yeah.
as shit. That man not only getting back, the man tackling, the man doing everything, the man working like it's on a different level.
Yep.
So that's why I say last week, I'm like, sell Rashford and get some players, improve that midfield, improve that, you know, that defense, improve that attack. Get like 3-4 players, because if that's Rashford's best, after he took all his stuff, if that's his best, I mean, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, that's the man's best. Yeah, he scored a nice goal, but what do you see for the rest of the game? I mean, like, if that's Rashford's best, run across and man tug your arm, you got a clear pass your goal, and then grab your arm and you fall down. I mean,
No, touch your arm, name grab, touch your arm.
yeah, I'm like,
Boy,
if that's
I was so disappointed, Marcus, in that. Dan, if you, I believe you had to make VAR and the referee have no other choice but to make a call. Then that was too sore for us. How you ready for that call?
You just fall down. You just fall down.
And then see what that will cause too is they will make VAR and the referees and them kind of
No, you're looking for it.
categorize, you know. Categorize.
That's
So
right.
anytime they see you go down, it could be a legit call. Then go get
Bruno.
it because
look at Bruno. Look
Yeah,
at Bruno.
correct.
They might even look. They might even bother to look for Bruno. Like, oh, you see on the floor? Play on. It's Bruno Fernandes.
yeah.
That Bruno playing today?
Oh,
Yeah.
Let me get Chris
We're gonna
comment
get the
here.
assist for the goal.
And I thought he get substitute after that, you know.
Let me just get through the rest of these comments, fellas. Chris saying here, when Haaland missed that open goal, I thought it was our day. Me too. Right? I thought we was going to get away with something. I thought we was going to come back something more, you know?
No, I get fried. 1-0, I get fried.
It's a good thing he didn't score, because anytime he did the level up in there for the half, that
Yeah,
second
Yeah,
half would
yeah.
have
That would
been
have
It was
been
good.
pain for the rest of the game. Yeah, for real, for
Yeah.
real. Yeah, Alan on the inside, thanks for joining, man. He's saying our main problem that keeps killing us whole season is we had so many chances to score and kill off the game. Right?
What set of chances we had to score and kill out the one?
No,
He
I
talking
think,
about
I think he talking about. No, well, I don't know if he referring to today, but I mean, it's a plenty other games where we had plenty chances, and he say whole
Yeah.
season. So I don't
Well,
know.
it's only today he could be talking about. If we talk,
true.
we
Well, I guess you say whole season too, but still, you know, I don't think we had all our whole set of chances
Such a
today.
chances today, yeah.
No, because even the chances Rashford had where he could have, that still wasn't sure.
no.
You know, he still had a lot
Yeah.
of work to do.
Yeah. Mylon on the inside, good night, man. Thanks for joining, buddy. So, fellas, let me do this one time, right? Let me pop just a part of Ten Hag's post-match,
I'll
right?
take off
He
my
said,
glasses.
I think
See,
it was a
what's-
good performance overall. I think we were really close to winning or getting a draw here.
Reem, don't do this tonight. Don't do this tonight, Reem. Don't do this tonight. Don't do this bullshit. Don't do this bullshit tonight. Don't
You know,
don't do this bullshit tonight, boy.
you
Please.
know, Phil, hear what I say,
The
right?
first sentence, good enough. I can live with the first sentence. But you see the second sentence, that's where the problem is.
None
So,
of
so
it.
again, fellas, is there any truth to Ten Hag's, or from your point of view, that is there any truth to what Ten Hag's saying here? Are the scene we seeing, or what? What going on?
We didn't deserve to win. We didn't deserve to draw. I think from a defensive standpoint, I think we had a very solid performance defensively.
We had I would say decent, not solid, decent. We get three. We get three in we hold. So
I
it
don't
had
know.
a
I
solid
don't know
day.
what's the difference with decent and solid. Decent and
It's never
solid.
a huge
I don't know.
difference.
I
You
don't know what
can't
the
say you get
difference.
three and get
Yeah.
you cannot say you get had a solid defensive performance and get three in your ass.
No,
That's
we should have get
impossible.
no. And another day we get 6. Yeah. So I think we had a decent defensive performance, right? Overall, definitely no, because again, if you want to say is one of the best teams in the world, right, then that performance is no way good, right? I don't think that's even acceptable. If I was that owner and I seen my team playing, that's not acceptable, right?
No.
But as for defensive performance, good. I don't think we were no way close to winning or even getting a draw.
No.
Let me put up an ideal world here, an ideal situation. Had we not made any mistakes today, this game could have finished 1-1, and I'll tell you why. It could have even finished 1-1, but I'll tell you why the 1-1 is a bit more realistic. Let's start with the equalizer. Brilliant goal from Phil Foden, but you have no right to show Phil Foden
Yeah.
on his
Not that.
left foot. Send
even
him to,
that.
send
Not
him
even
to byline.
Rashford had no reason to fall down. Because it's when Rashford gets touched on the hand and fall down is when it's at the counter attack and the goal.
Forget Rashford falling down. I was going to include that, but I said forget Rashford falling down. Victor Lindelof, don't get me wrong, Victor Lindelof wasn't bad today. But Victor Lindelof, you showing Phil Foden on his left foot,
Too much space alone.
With all that space.
curtains closed.
With all that space.
Curtains closed. And obviously Amrabat with the stupidity he do today. Right? So I would have come on this podcast a bit more like surprised if we finish 1-1 today. But when City of the last 5 to 7 years reminded me of Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson, when we always made teams pay for their
Yeah,
mistakes.
eventually.
Right?
Simeon, so we're going to team sheets, fellas, right? Now I know you all may have alluded to it, in passing a little bit, so far, but just getting a little more into it, right? Did Ten Hag get it right with his selection and tactics today? So that's what we want to get into now. Did Ten Hag get it right with his team selection and tactics?
I mean, it looked pretty good. I mean, once the game starts, I mean, they even when they attacked, they looked like they knew what they were doing as far as their counter attack. And I know it sounds we do it all the time, but it looked more organized. I felt like the team was more. Everyone said the team looked more connected, the midfield to the defense. It looked more responsive, more like they sat back more. I mean, I think the respect they had for City was so great that how you saw Casemiro or Mainu straying too far away from their own box. I thought McTominay being up there, even though he wasn't much helped in connecting the offense, he was just a presence up there that was a good hindrance. Though he wasn't there, we had Casemiro and Mainu back there. I thought it kind of went back to the old Ali system, more or less. I keep watching this team and I keep seeing like the old Ali tactics, which we always go back to, which reminds me that we didn't really do anything yet, Make it also, factor in the injuries. But like, I don't think there's anything else he could have done, more or less, as far as that lineup. Bruno in front because he carried tackle nobody. So that was good. McTominay in front, so he had the real responsibility as far as being back there. And Rashford and Garnacho on the edges. I thought that was a good tactical way to come into the game. And I thought City had some issues when the game started.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, JP? What you saying? Did Ten Hag
I think
get it right?
first 15 to 20 minutes, it looked like we had a game plan that was working because you saw where they were being compact and trying to play on the counter. So even before Rashford goal, Garnacho had a breakaway on the right, and Rashford was making a run down the middle, and Garnacho didn't raise his head early enough and wait till he was close to the byline to try and cross the ball. If he'd tried and played it earlier, Rashford could have had a chance even earlier in the game. So you saw what the plan was early in the game. But then, I don't know if it was City adapting because, Pep is our coach. He don't stick. When he sees something happening, he will react it in terms of how his team reacted. So I don't know if it was that or if it was just that our team don't know how to maintain a game plan for 90 minutes. Because the next thing McTominay is our passenger in the team. So we start the game at 10 minutes, in my opinion. Because McTominay did nothing in this game, absolutely nothing going forward, and nothing defensively in the midfield. So he was our passenger for the whole.
He's a body.
It didn't make sense.
He's a big body in the center. That's what he was.
A big body of what? I don't want to use the word because, I'm trying to keep it clean on the show, but he's a big body of that, right? So he don't make sense on this team. The man is our passenger, and today I find in this type of game, he could have started with Amrabat. Yeah, Amrabat made the mistake in the game later on, but that was when he come in, he hit the game. Casemiro gave a terrible pass to in that area, a looping pass in that area where City press. That was a terrible pass from Casemiro, first of all. So yes, he make that one mistake, and everybody want to crucify him for that, right? But I think he would have been a better option to start the game, playing more defensively, pack the midfield a little more, so I could win the ball easier and then send it forward to your quicker attackers who up front. That way, we could have break City high lines better. But we didn't have enough bodies in the midfield, I find, still, to maintain the type of game plan that he wanted.
We had
needed
no
more bodies
engine.
in the midfield to break up the play more, to get the ball forward to the three attacking men. And that didn't happen. So, for the first 15-20 minutes, yeah, you get it right. But if I don't know if it was down to him or the players or Pep reaction to it. But after that, we kind of, after that, we were out of the game.
Yeah.
I think what JP, I get echo what JP said. Tactics is about your plan going into the game, so that's before. Is that plan still viable and effective during the game? That's in-game management now. And football is for 90 minutes. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
As JP said,
Yeah, fully agree
our
with that.
tactics were doing well for maybe the first half. JP said first 15, 20 minutes, but I'll be a little bit more lenient. Let's say the first half, right? So our tactics worked pretty okay for the first half. And then all falls down in the second half. So just to answer your question, Reem, did Ten Hag's tactics work? I'm going to say no. If the game was called off at 45 minutes, I would have said, yes, the tactics work. But football's for 90 minutes, so I'm sorry. But they didn't work.
All right, fine. And I do disagree. But let me put this out there, right? And Nico, you could jump on, right? Now, because I wondering, when I see how the team set up, when a team set up like that, I don't think the intention is ever really be to win. If you understand what I'm saying. You want to hope that you get an out ball and that your attackers, your quick attackers capitalize. So when I watch it,
Damage limitation.
right? So when I watch it, to me, it looked more as what Chef saying, damage limitation. Let me see if we could get out here with something. And boom, we come and get a goal in the earlies. Watch me, that wasn't part of the plan, but we get it, we taking it. Right? The plan for me, when I saw how it, given the team composition, how he chose to set up, was really because you saw it in the game. You saw how we were always sitting behind the ball. We had proper shape, City with the quality was still finding them spaces, but I just City. But in terms of a defensive setup to not concede or to not be as open as we were and as we have been seeing us get skin open from how much teams, I'm asking myself, was the game plan, Nico? To just don't get a ball, don't get a bag?
No, definitely not. I think, and I believe that he could have gotten something from the game, and yes, you saw it from the tactics, because that ball from Onana to Bruno when Rashford scored, he didn't do that once, he did that a few times, and it almost worked more than once. So that was a tactic, right? So, and then our team naturally built on counter-attacking football. Our team naturally built with speed on the wing. Yes, we're missing players. Yes, we're missing our Hoyland, but that is how our team was built. So I think that Ten Hag knew or believed, and I personally think it could have worked, right? That we could have even gotten 1 or 2 goals on the counter, especially scoring first. Scoring first for us would have helped. And that is when Rashford get the other chance, right, when we was already 1 up. If for some reason that he took that chance, then we would have been 2 up. And to be that win, that have been by guess. To be that was definitely a tactic, and I honestly thought it could have worked. But 1 goal for sure is not enough against the City team. Maybe 2, we would have had a chance, but 1 definitely was enough. And it was a tactic that I believe could have worked. And I believe with the composition that we have as a team, it could have worked as well.
All right. Chef?
We knew going up against City that they will have most of possession. That's fine. Generally, we held our composure, and as what Phil said, let me get them first half. Generally, we held our defensive stance, but I don't know. It second half, it just showed me like this team is incapable of keeping structure, keeping formation, mentally not switching off. Because against City, you cannot switch off at all. You switch off a second. You see, and look what happened. Look what happened, basically. So, and again, as the guy had said earlier, and I guess that's what he was saying, we're not clinical at all. If you getting a little bit of chances, you have to make it count. It had no 2 ways about that. If you gain 3-4 chances, then it had to be at least 60-70%. You had to take them chances. You cannot afford to not take it because you're not going to get much chances. No. If we had taken our chances now, City would have had to come to us even more. And then the tactic of being a counter-attack game might have worked in our favor. But the longer that game went on at 1-0, we knew what was coming because City was relentless. And it's not, let me be real, it ain't easy to go to City grounds and hold for 1-0. Nah, they're not gonna let up on us. So yeah.
I don't know, but I kind of leaning on this side. And I don't know if it's because I kind of get numb and more expectations in the mud, right? But I kind of I find the tactics and the way we set up was the right one and it was working. Because earlier for City to break us down, it was a worldly. They tried, luck was on the side a little bit, but it was a worldly. Outside of that goal, City would have still be pressing, and I think it's after Evans came off. Because for me, Evans was solid.
Solid.
Yeah.
He and
In the back
Varane
today.
was solid,
Right? Yeah. And
solid.
it's only after Evans came off that is when I find, you start to see more chinks in the armor, and that is when we get breached
Yeah.
with the Foden goal. But before that, everything that come in, Varane and Evans was cleaning up. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It took a world of a strike from Foden. Yes, Lindelof gave him space. But I guess if Onana didn't have T-Rex arms, maybe he might have reached it, right?
Nah,
But-
man, don't go blame Onana for that one, nah, man.
Alright.
Now he under short only, he under short, he under real short.
Oh,
Anyway,
God.
but the point is, it took a worldly order to break us down. So I thought we the shape was good. You understand?
It
Had
was.
it not been for that worldly and then the substitution of Johnny Evans after, I think we could have pushed this thing further down the line. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think, in my honest opinion, defensively, we came out there to just not get a bag and leave it at a point. That is how I see us playing.
I agree.
We score a worldly. You understand what I'm saying? Me up to now, me see no pattern that say, well, hey, we really look like we create something proper to score a goal against City. Everything we sent was dealt with, right? But every time we went up, we came back and we get back into shape. That telling me that, hey, we try not to lose here today, more than win, right? And again, I go repeat it again. It took a while to make
open us
City
up.
to open me up, and then after that,
Floodgates,
Evans leave.
floodgates.
So Varane had to adjust the game, and we get it. And then I agree with JP. Casemiro put Amrabat in a real monkey pants there.
Nah,
You
but
understand?
still, but I'm
No.
going to deal with that as a professional
No,
footballer. and
I
a
understand.
midfielder.
Yeah,
You
When
have
they
to be
getting
able to deal
closed
with
down,
that.
when you
have
getting
to be able
closed
to
down,
deal with
Nico, you getting
Nah,
closed down. You
that's
now
not
bring the ball under
acceptable.
control. Not everybody's calling me
No.
You know what I
I
remind me too,
personally-
Nico? You know what I remind me
You should have
too?
been able to
You know what I remind me too? I remember when against Bournemouth, when Bruno gave McTominay the bottom pass from the back, and McTominay tried to bring it down and they take it and they come and score. It has some passes you just don't try as a professional footballer.
Yeah,
Know your
but-
players' quality. Know your players. Know the players are wrong here, Nico. That's all I say.
No, what I'm saying, I'll blame Casemiro if Amrabat didn't have more than one touch. But if he's a professional footballer, more than one touch, then you have enough time to do something with the ball. And he had more than one touch
Like,
on
it
the
was
ball.
like 3 City. It was like 3 City.
But they were
players
saying-
around him, isn't it?
Nah. They kick it out. What are you trying to do?
I find that was a
Wow,
real suicide
wow.
pass. But
Wow,
I, didn't-
wow.
I personally find a lot more people wasn't talking about that. I thought it was me alone. Wasn't talking about that Casemiro. I find that Casemiro as a big senior experienced player. That was real poor on his
He
part.
thought he,
Nah, but still-
but chef, he could have get
Amrabat
Modric that, and
ability to do
Modric would have get himself out of that situation, but you're not playing with Modric and
That
Cruz,
is not
but you
playing
play
with
with
Modric.
Amrabat, boy.
No, but I'm going to kick it out. If you can't control it, you have to be. Everybody know. You're swarming with City players, so you don't know that City players are wrong here. You don't know that. Kick out the ball.
Nobody talking to nobody. Nobody talking to nobody in that
You know
team.
them talk to say that. They're breathing like in the cry there. They're breathing
That
on
one,
the neck.
That's too late by the time you start to feel like, yeah, that's too late, boy.
that one, that goal make Haaland look like he had such a good game. Haaland
Yeah,
barely
boy,
did
yeah.
anything for the whole damn game, you know.
Yeah, boy. I didn't know what Haaland to score, boy. Even though I triple captain him, but oh, God.
You see
You
it?
triple captain him.
I'm telling you. Watch me, here now. Here the thing, eh? Just off point. When Haaland misses us, it's a home run, as though it's a City fan.
Hey.
But I was glad. Anyway, let me get some comments quick before we continue. Adrian on the inside, thanks for joining, man. Good night to
Oh,
you. Saying
Adrian.
whatever Ten Hag smoking, I want. Hey, but you want to be deluded by? Hey.
You think you're high? You're not high. You want to get high?
Satellite saying here, Ali Lindelof ain't look 200 today, you know.
And the left doesn't look so every game.
Yeah, but I find he was better than the last few games.
Yeah,
Today
he
was one of
he
the better
definitely-
games at that left back because I find
Correct.
he's real shit at left back.
Yeah, today
And I
he
really
wasn't
can't
bad.
say he was that terrible today. Wasn't
Yeah.
that good, but he wasn't terrible.
Yeah. Chris saying here, and Ten Hag know them is ish, but soon as he tell these fragile players something bad, they'll have a mental breakdown. Yeah, I don't know if there's a response to the Ten Hag post-match comment. Eric saying here, I was happy to see Bruno in the false 9 and not on the right wing. Yeah. I mean, we're still talking about the team sheet, so I don't know if anybody will comment on that. All right. Nicholas Floyd Myers, thanks for joining, man. He's saying Mason Greenwood is a killer. I don't care, but we need to find a way to bring him, because chances Rashford gets after his goal if was Mason his bag. Our wingers no way close to him right now. I miss him in big games like these. Yeah.
And you know to come back here and we want to know what happened.
Satellite saying here, they should have taken off Lindelof.
And put
But
two.
the decision
And put two.
was an enforced decision. It was
We
enforced.
love to give our opinion. Okay, cool, no problem. But go further. Tell us, okay, if you take him off, who you gonna put?
Yeah. Jody, blessed night to you, man. Thanks for joining. He's saying, did I just hear Onana name call?
Yeah, wicked men find on and I should have saved that.
No. It's not that. It's like, you know the Batman signal? It's like Jody just hear Batman Onana name and he come on and because he know he thought it was some kind of slander for Onana. You know?
Onana had a pretty decent game. Getting three. Like my boy saying, he had a solid game. He had three.
No, Onana had a solid game. The man improving already. The man improving, to be honest.
Yeah, he has.
He has to.
Eric saying here, bad pass, but Scammerbat. Wait, Scammerbat, we could have shielded the ball or kick it out. You know, all a ridiculous boy.
But man, Scammerbat,
No, we come back. Everybody see this Amrabat in Fiorentina and wherever they say, hey, we got a big player. Yeah, that's not really scam me, yeah? Scammerbat. Hey.
Yeah,
But I still think with games, he could have been much better, but I don't think he's getting enough games to...
Yeah. Hush your backside with that talk. Let him go back where he come from. The same way he was talking about the one from Germany last year.
White horse.
Well, not when was the next one.
Oh, we seen him again, boy?
Sabitzer.
Yeah. They couldn't want to get Sabitzer.
They couldn't want to
blind, nothing. Yeah, nothing.
They couldn't get a man a chance. So I ain't giving him. So Amrabat could go back Morocco for all I care.
No, but I see more in Amrabat in that defensive position as we saw with Sabitzer. But
Amrabat did nothing.
He had some solid games, man, Chef. Man,
Chef, don't do him that.
The man had some solid games, man. At that time, when he
saying
come
no.
off, sometimes we come off and we say, but why did take off Amrabat is having a solid game?
Yeah. No,
Agreed.
it's true.
Has he done enough to get a permanent move?
No.
Of course not.
No. Hey,
Well, okay, good. So,
and I have some strong points on that, but anyway, we'll get to that at some other point.
what's up?
We so desperate that we had to be begging at our club for loans in positions where we need players. Right? Anyway.
No, we talk about Arambat, but like, none of our players really could hold the ball. Like
None, boy.
Garnacho could hold the ball. Rashford, I don't know where he was half the time. I mean, even Anthony's a waste of money, time, space, everything. Like he come on, like he's the most senior player we have, right? We didn't bring on Ahmad, but Anthony had like one good run. And we all screaming. Even the announcer was like, "Okay, do something positive." And that man turned around, and that man ran into trouble. Like,
God,
man,
it's like no kind of courage at all, you know.
How is he Brazilian? How?
These men, boy,
Yeah.
I feel it's Brazil and Trinidad he from, yes?
No, but I remember something, right? And
He must be my neighbor.
Sibian said, Meno is the only player who could hold the ball, right?
It's true.
And what City going to do? City going to double team, you know. And what they do? Every time Meno get the ball, there's 2 men on him.
Yeah.
That was Ten Hag has to take him off.
Everybody else was one person.
Yeah.
Ask Meno get the ball, it's 2 men. Because that's the only player could hold the ball and do something with it. And I remember when Julian said that.
Our players lack technical ability, like that flawless technical ability to play in small places. We lack that bad one.
Man, City have it. And that's what makes it so hard today. City have it so in like droves. All their players come on and they move the ball and pattern in small spaces. Then men moving around our press like nothing. And I'm like, it just looks so hard.
I gotta tell you guys something. I gotta tell you guys something that you guys probably know, right? We have been watching football long, and you know what I realize about great teams? Great teams do the simple things really well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if it's something that I noticed today, not today, but in big games, you really expect your big players to show up. And when I say show up, I don't mean they can just run through teams and score goals. That's not what I mean. Because you understand the game plan. When a ball comes to feet, you get physical, you try to win the ball, hold it up, even if you have to win a foul, just to take the pressure off the defense. Somebody taking responsibility on the team, for what we're trying to achieve.
Onana said that today.
Who? Onana? So, no, but and this is what's concerning for me because we have a very expensive team, highly paid players, and in a game like this, nobody taking the game by the scruff of the neck. Nobody's saying, all right, when the ball reaches by me, I'm gonna win a foul, I'm gonna hold up the ball, I'm gonna try to frustrate somebody. Even you'll talk about Rashford. I know Kyle Walker probably have experience, I know he's aggressive, but I'm gonna take it to him.
Yeah.
Everybody playing within themselves, and I ask myself, where the big game players? Where the big game players? Why nobody stepping up? And I really thought that after that goal that Rashford scored today, I'd see that the little confidence now by Bruno. I ain't seeing nothing where nobody deciding, well, hey, I'm taking the game by the scruff of the neck. I ain't coming to win the game necessarily. I know what I'm saying, but let me see when the ball come to you that, hey, boy, at least Bruno really worked for we today. Bruno really.
Now, Bruno lightweight, boy. Mendes bumped Bruno off the ball and just taking the ball by that.
Every one of the players.
Because I would like to see how much touches, but all you're still talking about times when he had how much touches he did have in the game. Bruno was invisible for this game. So
he was running on the ball right through. He was running on the ball right through. We don't have the ball.
Bruno. You have McTominay invisible. So we playing with 9 players. Then Jesus, the only man who showed a little bit of bravery was Dalot. Dalot see space, he go and run. Even Varane see a space, he making a run. But our wingers and them covered bad.
No. Let me just say this one thing with Simeon and then you're coming, right? If it's one thing I had to say, we had a little 5-minute spell. I don't know if I'll remember.
Second half.
No, this was in the first half.
In the first half.
First half or second half, but it's first half.
I think the second half, we passed the ball. We just passing the ball, knocking the ball.
We have no
that wasn't about the 52nd minute.
But the point I'm making is that we were so patient.
Yes.
Right? And when we thought we'd go forward, we went backward and we went across and we bring it back. And that little moment of possession there, for me, because I think at that point in time we were still leading 1-0.
Yeah.
That little phase I played there,
it slowed down the game.
Yeah, and it make me say, but wait now, these fellas could follow instructions. These fellas
go this little bit.
And then somebody lost the ball. Somebody lost the ball. And the break on me. Dalot is the one who lost that ball.
That just upset the whole apple cart.
Yeah, and I was like, oh God, Klong, come now, boy.
That was exactly why I didn't say. I said, oh God, Jesus Christ, boy.
A careless pass.
Yeah.
Nah, man.
So, go to him, man. Yeah.
I mean, Garnacho, like the issue we have is relieving pressure. Like Garnacho still doesn't know how to relieve pressure. He don't know
Yeah.
when to go forward and when to go back. A lot of times he's trying to do all kind of tricks and stuff to escape his half. But all you do is turn around and do another back pass. Like a lot of times, it was too easy to get the ball off Garnacho. Too easy.
Garnacho didn't have a
Garnacho
good game
alone?
at all.
Garnacho
I mean,
alone.
But
Every
the thing is,
45.
the thing is nobody. You know, I look at what I keep going back to Anthony. But what is he here for? We pay all this money for him. The man, okay, defensively he okay, but the man can't really hold the ball up anymore. The man, if he can't at least protect possession for the ball, what are you going
Then
to
what's
do?
your point?
I mean, fourth and young. I mean, I mean, the man just, I really want to see Ahmad play, but I know Ahmad can't defend properly. That's my only issue with Ahmad. He's a liability defensively. But the man could possess the ball and keep the ball. That's his game. But I was just shocked at like how poor as a team, and I was waiting for this game because I know City with pressure. I know other teams pressure, but City is like a top class as far as pressure you in your own half. And all the good games we had before, ain't mean nothing when you watch what they did to us in the second half of it. Because they just kind of clamped us down and we couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah. Satellite saying here, take off Lindelof for Kambala, put Varane at left back and come.
You go. It's not a good. Satellite.
What?
Yes,
What?
Satellite. Let's stop it.
What?
Save him.
Oye,
Save him.
oye.
It's a good thing, Chef.
Oye,
Chef,
oye,
Chef, see that? I
Oye,
hope Chef didn't see that comment.
Oh, you have some strong breathing south, boy.
Yeah,
Is
boy.
either that or you snorted something white. Because that fucker, I'm sorry, and excuse me one time, but this that fucker asshole, you want to talk this already night? No, eh? Don't do me that. No.
I was
Don't do me
hoping
that.
Chef. I was hoping
Don't do
Chef
that.
didn't see that comment.
Don't the man wake up for that comment.
The man sipping on the hand sanitizers tonight, boy. When they come, boy.
Jesus Christ.
Yes,
It's too late, brother man. Today's Sunday, and it's too late tonight to be talking that fucker dirty shit. Don't do me that, please, no. No. Best
You know what?
Best you go and pee and go and sleep. Nah,
No.
don't do me that.
Yeah. You know what? That was Satellite. That was an atrocious statement, but they're putting it back up for you.
Don't watch this.
Nah.
I know your family.
Nah. No,
Oh,
man.
Jesus,
Come
it
on.
is.
What is going
Man
on
to
with
take
you?
off Lindelof.
Satellite, I am with you with this comment, and I mean that because I want you to bring more comments like this from now to the end of the show to make this keep all the way away. Don't listen to Chef. Don't listen to Chef. Chef is a bad mind. Bring more comments like this to the
The
stream.
man, the Varane, Varane, who I must be can run faster than Varane.
Oh boy.
Oh my, hey.
Wow.
All right.
Thanks to the comic relief. I feel that's what you wanted to do, you know.
Keep the comments coming, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So JP, let me I don't want to go here, right? But let me settle this once and for all, right?
Oh Lord.
Who was better? Ole's Manchester United or Ten Hag's Manchester United?
Well, I don't know where I'm going already. Ten Hag Manchester United.
Really?
Of course. Without a doubt.
in terms of the wins, in terms of win percentage, he have that. But in terms of, I could actually enjoy watching Ole team play at a point in time, because remember we have how much 5 plus nil or 5 plus goals we score in games with Ole, because Ole wanted to bring back a kind of entertaining style of football and where we score in goals. So it is a kind of toss up, because I feel like Ole under Ineos structure with the players he wanted and understanding of Manchester United, could have
JP,
and I said, and I want to say
JP,
him back here.
JP,
No, wait,
Let the man
JP.
let the man land. Let the man land. Let the man land. Let the man land. Let him take himself out of a hole. Let him take himself out of the hole.
Let me see.
I'm not going to say bring him back only. I'm not going to say that. Let me be very clear. I'm just saying on that proper structure with a proper scouting and things like that in terms of the way he wanted to play the football, I think we would have seen better football with Ole under that structure. Now Ten Hag got to get a chance to show if he get the backing in terms of building a proper team to see what he could do with the team. Because I think with Ole was again another product of all the rubbish that was going on upstairs too. Now that that's sorted, it kind of had to make the comparison with coaches under Glazers and coaches under what we should see with Ineos. So entertainment-wise, Ole. But results-wise, you can't fight results because Ten Hag win percentage is 61%. So you
sure?
can't really fight that in terms of who better.
But watch
Yeah.
Ole
That why Ole still can get a walk.
Yeah, 61%.
Anyway, go ahead.
61%.
No, I mean Ole.
And Bayern Munich wanted Ole by?
Come now, man.
Walk away. Come on. Go on.
Go to Simeon.
No, I mean, I think Ali know like two things. Ali had, I think he had more players as far as like he had more stars on his team. Because
Yeah, he had players.
he needed more like he had strikers and stuff. He had, and he understood what he had.
Pogba was still around.
Pogba.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like that.
he knew he had to play Fred McTominay. He knew what he had on the team. I think with that he kind of played to their strengths. Let us go out there and do freestyle.
Just express yourself.
Yeah, express yourself. So I think all he had, I think Ten Hag, I mean, Ali won. Like Ali did, he wasn't ashamed of doing what he was doing. I think Ten Hag trying to create something. I think Ten Hag Ten Hag kind of devolving. I think Ten Hag kind of devolving to where Ali was. Ali. If you watch it more and more, every time I watch his team, I keep coming back to look like Ali ball. And I think. JP said, he wished Ali could have had, Ineos and a structure. I wish Ten Hag keeping was started next year and have people above him, to start over because what he did, as far as his system.
And the signings as well.
Yeah, it's terrible. But as far as answering your question, I mean, Ali's teams were fire. I mean, he did what he get. He was not a good coach, but his teams, when they played for him, they played for him.
I find this is one wicked man question, eh?
Yeah.
To compare two shitouts.
Hey,
The best and the worst, I can tell you.
But right now, I ain't even know the answer that. There's only, for once, only I'm speechless. I ain't even know the answer that. But both of them disappointed.
But
well, personally, I find that that maybe the fan base being real harsh on Ten Hag, right? And again, I talking about what we saw last season, right? To me, we saw some real good football last season, something real refreshing, right? That we wanted to see under Oli, but that we wasn't seeing. I think, we're good at second place now. You come, right?
But the man
You chop the man point this Simeon, you chop the man point. He can't
What I'm saying is that Ten Hag had as much as he would have made the signing among who else? Anthony, right? Pep would also make some sign. Look, Pep would have signed Calvin Phillips. No, I'm talking about signings, right? Calvin Phillips, right? He he never played for City. Nobody is saying nothing. This Nunez fella, right? Spent some money for him, barely getting a sweat as well. Nobody saying nothing, right?
Kovacic or
Right?
something.
Yeah, Tenag made some signings wrong, yes, but there's also signings that Tenag supposed to get that he's not getting, and where we had to be dependent on loans. We know we needed a proper defensive midfielder, right? We went for Amrabat and we could only get Amrabat on loan. The seasons before we could have only get Weghorst, Sabitzer, this season regular on loan.
One set of C-class players.
Exactly. And then now, yes, and we know we say the coach not playing this style of he wanted a striker in January. No, it had no money. So wait is this man, all he doing is what? He just looking for bargains, even Ericsson was a bargain. He had to beg Ericsson to come to United. So he just hoping and praying that, hey, I'm trying to put some pieces together to get this team to play. And to me, hopefully, if it is that he really get it back in this summer, because this team needs to rebuild. Because we're talking about getting a new coach. Call all them coaches who are available and tell me which one of them could come into this team and have this team looking good. Right? We have to get overhaul, and what I see is that we're starting to build a base. We're starting to build with Kambala from behind. If you want to go to Nana, well, we see much of Malacia to say, well, Malacia is the answer, right? We have Kobe Meno, we have Ganacho, we have Hoyland, and we have young players, our core players coming, that if we back Tenag, I believe you will see something good. But again, is if you get time, because you're under real pressure, there's a possibility he may not last, but I still think he is the man to at least bring us back to somewhere, and maybe even after that, there's somebody else come and take. Because Zidane say he don't want his team. Well, I mean, that's not reported. He said because this team needs an entire team. He cannot work with this bunch of players.
No proper manager would want this work right.
Yeah, they say they need a whole new bunch of players. So to me, Tenag playing with the hand that he dealt with, as much as he made some bad choices, but the other coaches had made bad choices, and we're not getting down on them as much as we doing for him against Tenag.
As Nico touched on it, because I was heading next, so we might as well go there one time, and I want to get Phil, I want to get you in on this one, right? So, I mean, I know Nico made his points. I don't know if you've seen it differently, or you might have a different, perspective on it. But based on what we've all seen so far, right, with a proper structure, right, do you think Ten Hag will succeed at Man United? And I could add to it, what gave you the belief to say, yeah?
Boy, it's easy to say yes, but you could be proven wrong a couple years from now. But forget it. I'm gonna say yes, based on what I'm hearing with regards to over the last couple of months. The new CEO Omar Barreda talking about, like, if players don't, let's say, pull up their socks after 2 years, then you got to go, right? That kind of got me a little bit excited, because some of these players have been given contracts back of performing shit, right? So Jim Ratcliffe himself is a Manchester United fan, so that should put something into consideration as well. We saw how Ten Hag's style of play was at Ajax. Ajax that played well, not only in the Eredivisie, but also in the Champions League as well versus big teams. Played them off the park and got results, right? And this is the reason why we hired Ten Hag. Now, under a proper structure, I think it doesn't matter if we give Ten Hag a proper structure or not, he will always be under pressure to perform. He will always be somebody will always be upstairs saying, Ten Hag, you have to perform, not tomorrow, not today, yesterday. Because that's how our club operates, right? We are years behind City and Liverpool, and soon to be years behind Arsenal, right? Three of our biggest rivals. Given the proper structure, I can say yes. He will perform well. There was a proper structure at Ajax, and he did well with with that structure. Under there was Van der Sar and can't remember who else was at Ajax, right? But if we could replicate a proper structure how he had at Ajax, then yeah, I can say Ten Hag would do well. There's somebody out there
Yeah.
that may disagree with me, and I won't blame them, and I can't really fault them for disagreeing with me, right? But hey, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, fair. JP, what you saying?
Yeah, I think he deserves to get a chance on that proper structure because for too long it has been too much on the manager of Manchester United to make too many big decisions. So in instances where we could say other managers get wrong with players, it may not necessarily have been the managers, but it may have been the scouts who look at the style of play and bring in the player. But I think in our case, Ten Hag have a lot to do with the actual players that he brought in. So the difference now with Ineos would be they want a style of play and they will bring in players to suit that. It's not, well, this who Ten Hag want and we have to get this player because Ten Hag wants it. So if we could get something where you could have a proper structure, Ten Hag have less on his plate to study, where it's more about the football on the field and preparing the squad for match days and things like that he more focused on. If that could be what he is doing with a proper squad, a proper structure behind him, I think he deserved the chance to at least get a season of that because his contract ended next year. So I think he deserved that, but we don't know how Ineos going to operate if they're looking at all now and thinking, well, if this man really deserves to get the backing that we looking to put behind our manager.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends on how they think it. But I would like to see him, as much as I will come here and criticize on the pod and talk about what I'm not seeing from him and things like that. I still feel like he has been operating under a lot of pressure for the time he has been here. And if we could relieve some of the pressure and give him an opportunity to really focus on what we brought him in to do, I think he deserves at least a season to try and show us that, or at least a few months a proper backing to show us that.
Yeah, what you saying, Chef?
I like Ten Hag. But Ten Hag has been irritating me because he's so stubborn.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's so hard to critique a man who, one, doesn't have the best set of players needed to do the job, whether it be through scouting, and who he have, the best set of players was injured a lot. Then, and putting those two, there's so much nonsense in and around the club and team that he had to deal with. So it kind of hard to say, God, I get rid of him. So if I could agree with you say giving him a season with the perfect storm, everything he need in terms of signings, everything he need around the club, all the backings and things, you give him and being asking him to win the league, you know. But let me see a direction. Let me see the football you want to play. Let me see you imprint it on the squad. Let me see you go back to being that manager who wasn't bowing to Ronaldo, wasn't bowing to nobody. We want to see that manager come back in the team.
Yeah. Simeon, wrap you up.
I mean, under regular circumstances, yeah, Ten Hag will be back next season. But I think, two things. Like, we are not a normal club. We are Manchester United. We are no longer run by ordinary people like the Glazers. Like, Ratcliffe wants to win, He wants to win right now. He's getting the best of the best. And they'll come in and they'll look at what Ten Hag did this season. And when you start looking, like, yeah, it's a huge injury crisis. It is a big issue. Yeah, the star play, for some reason we can't play without all of our players there, most of our players there, we can't play at star football. That's not getting better. And you have these Ratcliffe's a rich man. You have small clubs like Fulham making fun of our players, you know, and our coach talking about, oh yeah, you can't like talking like a bum, like, oh don't make fun of my player, falling down, like just this little petty thing, like it's so like beneath a coach of United to be like, responding and begging a small club not to make fun of them because his player is diving. It's like, just leave it alone, Ten Hag. If you're gonna do anything, beat them. Don't give them 6 next time. But we can't do that. Like that, Ten Hag has lost the respect of so many fans by just the way he's speaking and how he interacts with other fans. And the last thing is, he looked at all the players he signed. Let me go down the list. Either injured or not playing well. Malacia.
Injured. Shit.
Martinez. Injured.
Injured.
Rasmus. Second time injured.
Injured.
Eriksson. Mount.
Oh.
Onana.
Sure.
Casemiro. Like, you look at the players he has signed. I mean, it's not. That's one thing is, when you a manager, when you are held to a higher standard, a lot of times they don't care or what circumstances happening. What's the result? And this is a business. These are businessmen. It's a results-driven business. Are you winning or are you not? Are the choices you made working out for us or not? You hired this guy who was always Mount. Look at Mount. He was injured last year. When you have a team full of injured players, it's not just the injury prone, it's the style of football you're playing. There's a whole bunch of stuff that comes into play. And they're going to look at all that stuff at the end of the year and be like, yeah, you have injured players, why are you running them to the ground? The style of football you're playing, where they're chasing back and forth all day, is that causing injuries? Why is there a recurring thing every single year? Like, all these things come into play. And when you take all that into consideration and the results, it's not certain. I don't think it's. I think right now it's more likely he's not back.
Yeah. Just Nico. Yeah, go ahead.
No, there's one thing. So I don't know if you all used to look at Barcelona when Messi was the Messiah of Barcelona, and then when Messi was out injured. When Messi was out injured, whenever, that Barcelona never used to be the Barcelona team. They were struggling to score. They weren't winning games. I don't know if you remember that. And to me, that is what Martinez is to this team. I think when we do, as much as terrible as it might sound, I think Martinez is the key to Ten Hag brand of football, because every time Martinez on that field, our footballers look different. It mightn't be perfect, but it has be different. And I'm hoping that next season we get some more pieces like that into the team.
I mean, that's a good point. But for me, Ten Hag has always been more of a this player, I need this player, I need that player for my football to work, as opposed to a system.
Yeah.
Right? And the drawback on that is you could never guarantee that you will always have a fully fit squad. Right? And we've realized that with this team, since Ten Hag start, right, if about 10% of the times he had a fully fit squad to choose from, he had plenty. So that brings me to the realization that the likelihood of Ten Hag ever having a fully fit squad with all his preferred players available to play consistently is unlikely. So then, are we always going to sit down here and say, well, when this one available, or when that one available, then we go see this, or then we go see that.
Yeah.
And that's my problem because his football is heavily dependent and reliant on individuals as opposed to a system.
And
Other
But then,
teams, you look at other teams,
the options had to be better. The options had to be better, and the options is the
but-
problem.
but Nico, Ten Hag also, if you look at even his Ajax days, he always uses a very small squad. So what options you're talking about when he only going to be using 13 players?
So even if one person get injured in his preferred selection, whoever you're bringing in, maintaining the standard now. But now we don't have that. Now the options, the standard is so low.
No, but Reem, but Nico, and you have to understand where Reem coming from too. That, and this is my problem. I keep on happening every week about Ten Hag. And before I make this point, so what everybody just said, or we could watch it. Let's watch it from these new owners and them eyes. Yes, injuries, all those things we list out. But here's what, from my eyes watching yours. Now I could go to put my point I want to make now. That at the end of the day, bro, yes, you have injuries, all kind of things happen. But I can watch you and say, that's excuses. Because you're supposed to have a squad. Remember, at the end of the day, is he picking the squad? We can say still Pickens, but is he still picking his squad? And you cannot be so reliant on these handful of players that when they're out, everything fall down. Then you're not doing a good job as a manager.
If you look at Pep Guardiola for City, right? You know the two signings up to this day, I am still surprised he made, but Pep has such a disciplined style of play for Manchester City. The two players that I know for a fact, based on their playing styles, would never suit City based on Pep were Erling Haaland and Jack Grealish. Those two players would never suit a Pep Guardiola style, but lo and behold, you got to have a system in place. Let's be real. Erling Haaland has taken City to new heights.
Yeah.
If Erling Haaland getting injured, it's not the end of the world for City. Let's put it that way.
It's not.
Right? It's not the end of the world. City fans, Pep Guardiola, yes, will miss him. But they can still win a 2-love. They can still win 3-love.
4-love.
But I disagree with you with that one, I feel. Because
with who?
With the Grealish and the Haaland.
Jack Grealish is not a Pep type of player.
And I would disagree with that because Pep like players who could possess the ball, who could play with the ball, who could shield the ball, who could protect the ball. Jack Grealish could do that. Jack Grealish could do that. How much time? And I was saying, how much players you see taking the ball off of Grealish? Grealish is an excellent screener of the ball. He could rotate the ball. So to me, he suits a Pep Guardiola style of football.
I'm saying
because he could rotate the ball.
Pep Guardiola like players who can move around the football, who are fluid with the football, right? You look at Barcelona, Dani Alves, Messi. There are so many clips of Dani Alves and Messi together just moving around the football, right?
I think Grealish could do that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
But if I could just sharing the ball with others, I don't think Jack Grealish is that type of player. Jack Grealish is the person that you have to give the ball to. He's going to shield it and run with it towards the goal and let to lay it off or something like that, right? But to each his own,
if
right?
I could, if I could just tie up what the point I was making. So the fall of Nico when Ten Hag preferred players not available, it's too far.
It's too much.
We look at Fulham last week. Fulham were missing some very, very key players in their team, and you couldn't tell.
That's my point.
Look at other teams when Kevin De Bruyne wasn't there for City. Yes, you miss him. Yes, you miss the quality.
Point out Brighton. Brighton lose so many players, and Brighton's still playing.
Yeah, and even though Brighton may not be getting the results.
Fulham deal with
No,
Brighton
but
this weekend.
no, but what we say, Nico, is even though they may not be getting the results, you're not seeing a
Yeah.
fall off in the
Yeah,
style
yeah,
of play, the way how they're playing.
The team
Right.
philosophy is the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And this is what's
And this is what we're not getting from Ten Hag.
there's more concerns with Ten Hag. Let me see.
And-
let me at
yeah.
least see. Let me at least see that, you know, if I give you the keys, right, and you get, let me just say, you get 11 of your preferred players. I'm giving you that because I see even if you do have 11 available, we ain't gonna get relegated now, boy. You know what I'm saying? And I do have that confidence in Ten Hag right now.
Yeah. Same
I
here.
get you need I get you that you need. Yeah, everybody want the best players to be available. Everybody and fair play. But don't let me feel as though you can't coach if you don't have one available now.
Yeah.
And I think there's a effect or symptoms of what Ten Hag coming to, right? Because under Ole, right? What type of players are you looking for? Maybe counter-attacking football, right? Coaches from before. What style of football? Let me say, who was there before? Jose Mourinho? What type of players? So, and then you bring in Ten Hag now into a system with a misfit players in Brighton. Brighton have one style of football. Because why? The people on the head say, hey, this is the type of football I want. So they would have brought in players to suit that style. Right? And then they get a manager now who would play that style. But Manchester United is, you don't know which players we have. If it's counter-attacking football, we have possession type football. Now you bring in a coach that he watching players like Jed. You can't do what I want to do. And that's the position I think that Ten Hag finds himself in. That he has a misfit.
No, to add on to what Nico is saying, Nico is right in terms of like, okay, you still need a type of football to play and instill in this team. In terms of counter-attacking football, there are certain players in this team right now that will not suit counter-attacking football. In counter-attacking football, you need at least 3 players to progress the football. Not just one player to bump the football up and hope.
Nope.
I will always remember, and I'll give it back to you, Nico. I will always remember.
No, I didn't land there already. I guess I'll catch my point.
Yeah. I will always remember. Remember when we played Arsenal in the Champions League? And we beat them when we had Ronaldo, Jason Park, and Wayne Rooney? Remember when we played Arsenal at Emirates? And that counter-attacking goal that we scored? When it was Ronaldo laying it off to Jason Park laying it off to Wayne Rooney laying it off to Ronaldo, boom, goal. We need 3 players that can progress the ball together, not just one player, right?
We need an engine room. We went as far back as to Mourinho. And when you watch, let's be real. When you watch Ole, you watch Ten Hag, Mourinho, all just keep on going back, Van Gaal, all of them. Just look at it. Dan, when is the last time we could honestly say we had 3 proper midfielders playing in the center of that park? When is the last time we had that?
Oli had it. Oli had Pogba, Matic, and Herrera.
But we get matches at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't get
But the
matches
man
in
was
this
still
prime.
good. No,
that wasn't good enough.
Matic. I didn't really like Matic, but Matic was too up and down. I talk about proper.
In the prime.
Consistent.
Remember,
In the prime.
who is the guy? Who is the guy we buy Who is the guy we buy under Van Gaal from Southampton again?
Schneiderlin.
Nah, Schneiderlin.
No, I was saying he was proper at Southampton, but my ultimate midfield, if we had to combine all the midfields we've had so far, would have been a Pogba, Schneiderlin, and maybe a Herrera, possibly.
You get rid of Herrera too fast too. It's just so much wrong move, Manchester.
But like, it's funny because the first, we talk about getting the right players. Like the first signing we heard about with Ten Hag was who? De Jong. He spent the whole summer trying to get De Jong.
That was a
Have we,
waste.
have,
That was a
have
waste.
we gotten a player like De Jong since he's been here?
Kobe.
Well, I guess Kobe Mino is the
Come
is the
come
heir
to the
to that.
academy.
Why?
Oh.
Like what? If that's the player he wanted to be the foundation, why we wait to bring Kobe that came through the academy? We didn't buy him, came through the academy. Why he's the only player like that?
That is
Like-
Dr. Ten Hag. It's Ten Hag take long. All of us on this panel here. How long we was calling for Kobe Mino to make that team?
No, but still, Kobe Mino was still developing.
Yeah, no. In
Why
terms of
only
Kobe
Kobe?
Mino breakthrough, I agree with Ten Hag. I can't fault him because you don't want to
Yeah,
rush
I
the process,
I still find it sticky.
But the point is,
Why is he
if I
18
could
years
just jump in
old?
before,
Yeah.
but before Simeon they continue, I just want to jump in on that because the thing about it is, and this is what I agree with you. If Ten Hag want to play a certain type of football, because I think Simeon did list out the players that Ten Hag signed, right? And this is why I wanted to counter Nico's point. You had sufficient opportunities to sign the right players, right? You had the autonomy to sign who you wanted. Murto and all them fellas didn't know that.
That is not true, eh? No, but that is not
no,
true.
but hear him
Like-
out. But hear him out. Just hear him out. Every signing that you wanted, you get. We go
That is
argue.
not
We
true.
go possibly argue that you didn't want Casemiro,
Right.
right? But everybody else, right? And even on the loan market, you had to sanction it, right? Otherwise, they wasn't bringing the player. This January is the first window where Ten Hag asked for a player, even on loan, and he couldn't get it. But before that, every single player came in, Ten Hag either wanted or sanctioned. Again, Casemiro will be the other one out, right? My thing is, as a manager who you watching football as a manager for how long you played, you're in the game. You telling me after De Jong, you don't know nobody else who
You
can
must
do
have
the
a
kind of job
plan
that you
B.
want?
You must have a
You
plan B,
understand?
C, and D.
You're not telling
Yeah,
me.
but I not Ten Hag walk alone. It's supposed to happen. It's
Yeah,
supposed
but-
to happen to do that.
Yes,
Why we play on Ten Hag?
Nico.
Yeah, but
You
because
can't
Ten
put
Hag,
on
Ten Hag wanted. If
Ten Hag
you
wants
remember
what
last
he know.
season, if
Ten
you
Hag
remember
wants what
last
he
season,
know.
Nico, but if you remember last season, Ten Hag was asking for full control and transfers. You understand what I'm saying? That is why we take so long on De Jong. Any proper structure upstairs was telling you, hey, after 2 weeks, we moving on from that.
Exactly.
You have to
So,
move
And-
that went
what
to
we
show
gonna
that Ten
get
Hag
now.
had the autonomy.
And
So
that
what I'm
gonna
saying
get
is,
now.
Nico,
That's what we gonna
but what
get
I'm trying
now.
to tell you is that is the autonomy Ten Hag wanted and had. So he is responsible for the players that he signed.
He is. Dog,
Right?
let me be
So
real.
why
And
it is
I'm
we're
not
not
saying
playing
no,
the
I'm not
football?
saying no,
So why it is now 19, 20 months after? Why we don't have players to play?
Because the players he signed injured, plenty of them injured.
Dan, tell me what about Anthony? All you know probably know better than me. What about Anthony at Ajax? Putting Ten Hag to pay 80 million for.
Ten Hag pay that money. Ten Hag see what he play and them pay the money. Yeah, what a man.
We could have
And
get.
then went on however they negotiate and pay whatever. All of Ten Hag say, hey, I what a player.
I'm not gonna lie. You know, Nico is not wrong. You know, he's not wrong. But I think we are more right than you being right, though, Nico. I can put it that way.
It's Mount De Jong. It's Mount.
Nico is
it's
not
Jason
wrong,
Mount
though. He's
De
not
Jong.
wrong.
It's Jason Mount De Jong.
Say that
But
again?
no, Chef
Oh.
is
Yeah,
definitely right in terms of, and Reem said the same thing as well. You set your sight for a certain player or players. Within 1 or 2 weeks, and there is no budge, move on.
Yeah.
I can name in the
I'll-
last probably 10 to 15 years on players we have had transfer sagas with.
Every season, boy.
But we blaming Ten Hag.
No, but
Oh, we
I
blame
No, but we used to
Ten
blame the
Hag.
other managers too, Nico. We used to blame the
Oh,
other
Nico,
managers
Nico.
as
Wait, is
well.
it really the manager to blame? But is it really the manager to blame?
Because they're supposed to say, well, if they have that kind of autonomy,
Boy.
then they would say, well, the upstairs supposed to say, well, no.
Like
But
like
let's
right
give the
now,
managers what they want.
Telling you, no, so if I'm just telling you, don't worry, you're gonna get, don't worry, you're gonna get, don't worry, you're gonna get. Then I go say, well, all right, I'm waiting.
right
And
now,
especially with the young, that was
Manchester.
happening. Because they go on
Manchester
Spain and they
supposed
do all
to.
kind of thing, and they say, yes, you're gonna get it, yes, you're gonna get it.
Boy, them could have never hear that. Let me tell you something about that De Jong thing. Them could have never say we getting him because he was contracted to Barcelona.
Well, we were supposed to pay that all.
So you can't just say a player that is under contract. You can't promise him, yeah, we getting him. It don't work so.
Nah, they
Here,
must
here,
Because
here,
that
here, here.
negotiate.
Here we're going on, Chef. From the time De Jong said I want Champions League football, I said, okay, cool. Just move on.
Yes.
Because we were not in the Champions League, we were in Europa League. Come on.
And he come and meet me in Europa League and we knock them out. Let me get some comments.
Nah.
I'll let JP take the last comment on this and then we'll move on, right? So let me get the comments here. Eric saying here, Ten Hag, I believe is good as gone, even if he wins the FA Cup. Van Gaal won the FA Cup and still got the sack. Right?
Van Gaal left. Van Gaal didn't get sacked. Van Gaal left immediately after the FA Cup. Don't
Van Gaal getting neck bust Phil.
Nah, I get it.
No, but no. So
He
there's
getting
how we
neck
see it. The board was like, okay, we can either sack you or you leave. I think Van Gaal left.
Nah, there's no he was better after he say he getting neck bust Phil.
Regardless, if my boss say I either fire you or you leave, I can be I can be good as well too.
Lynchy on the inside.
Oh, Lynchy.
Eric saying here, keeping him for another season doesn't make sense. We need to make a move
They're coming
now.
out here, boy.
Many top teams are going to be looking for a new manager next season. Liverpool, Barca, Bayern, etc. If we don't get a top manager, we will lose out. All right. Lynchy saying here, thoughts on the new manager. Keep Oliver. I think that's what we're talking about now, right?
That's what we're talking about right now.
Eric saying here, exactly. Injuries and lack of quality is clear, but he's showing us absolutely nothing this season. Third division teams play with more purpose than us. Nah. All right. Akida on the inside. Thanks for joining, Akida. He said no system cannot function efficiently without quality central
Thank you
midfielders.
very much.
Yeah,
When I
that's
used
true.
to play, my coach always used to say, who wins the midfield battle wins the game.
That's
100% right, Chef.
facts. Thank you.
Right.
We have no engine room. None. I don't care how much players Manchester United going for until Manchester United fix that midfield. And I mean fix it. Not no sign of one player. Go out and get. If only find we don't have the men to promote, then go out and scout properly and find players to play a system to do things. Unless that is fixed, then we will never to say nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. If we can't retain the ball, how you want to win games?
Yeah.
And I would say counter-attacking football is bullshit. That is not a tactic. That is arsehole thing. If you don't get me mad when men want to sell me this counter-attacking football is a tactic. That's not no tactic, Dread. Like shit, man. Don't tell me that's a tactic. I get mad when people try to sell me that. That is not a tactic. Counter-attacking football is for lower division teams who giving up all possession and hoping to get the ball to go on. With Manchester United are dying tactic. God, come now, man. That's why I say Ten Hag's looking like he know better than Ole because that looking like his tactics right now.
I want to ask Nicole a question. And Nicole, you mentioned that Lisandro Martinez is kind of the glue for our team. And I kind of agree with you. Would you be for or against putting Lisandro Martinez in midfield and we signing 2 centre backs?
Ten Hag not doing that.
But I asked him, I asked you.
Ten Hag not doing that. No.
I leave in Martinez in the back. I leave in Martinez in the back.
I know what that. No, I know what that. Leave Martinez right here.
Yeah, I leave in Martinez.
Yeah, leave Martinez right here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was one with Phil, wanted that move, but to be quite honest, Martinez is a proper centre back.
Yeah, leave here right here.
Martinez, you don't get centre backs as good as Martinez. You faster get a CDM than that.
Yeah. So let me just get JP in on this and then we go rapid, guys.
What I want to see from Ten Hag right now is the player development. This is my problem, right? Because as much as we're talking about your starting 11 and all the other things with transfers and all that, part of the coaching of a team is to develop players as well.
That's
So Ten Hag
right.
and his coaching staff supposed to be developing players, and this is what we're not getting as well. We're seeing players coming through the youth system, but we saw that with Rashford coming through the system, and then look at what happened to him. And I was looking at Foden today, and I was saying, Foden at Manchester United would have been Rashford today. Because
No,
he
it
would not get the proper
it should have been Greenwood. Well, well, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, what I say, the development, the proper development of the player would not have been there.
Yeah.
And we always talk about our players suffering from that. They're not getting proper development in the club. So,
Yep.
so this is why we open this structure come into play where we could have a proper squad. And I share Reem concern with Ten Hag having the preferred 11. Because then if you have young players like Kobe and Garnacho as part of that preferred 11, then they kind of interfere with their development.
And
You're
Hoyland.
putting too much on them, too young, and Hoyland as well. You're putting a hindrance on their development as players because they shouldn't have to be carrying a team at that age. So if you have players that could interchange, like how Foden was allowed to develop at Man City, to the point where he is now being put up in the conversation as a world-class player. We need to have a structure in place where our players too could not just show potential like the Jesse Lingards of forever potential players. Our players had to be in a system where they could realize that potential, properly develop into it. And this is what we need to see from Ten Hag and his coaching staff too. Not just an 11 that could win games, but a squad that could win games.
That's right. Dan, watch Palmer. Watch Palmer at Chelsea.
Yeah. And I mean, and just to, and there's just my closing thing, just to continue off what JP say. If Foden was here, chances are Foden would have been wearing number 10 and he'd have been making $6 million a week. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Foden scored. Foden was brilliant today. And are they going to be surprised? Pep mightn't start next game.
No, he's going to
You
start.
understand what I'm saying? No, but understand the point I'm making.
Yes,
There's nothing guaranteed for Pep. Nothing guaranteed for Pep. You are guaranteed nothing. And that's how Pep.
Agreed.
You understand what I'm saying? Look, Foden wants to win 47. Right? In Man United, we want to worship and give his statue outside. Right? So we just get into the players' head, make them feel like they're better than they are, and that does affect development. You understand what I'm saying? So, I mean, good point, JP. Go through Simeon.
That's a great point.
Nah, just following up on what you guys said. I mean, I think what bugs me now is Ten Hag is doing the same thing that Oli used to do. Like, after we lose a game, saying that was good, it wasn't a bad game. And you look at, and it always shows more when you play against Pep. The things you're doing compared to what they're doing, you realize how wrong you are, how backwards we are. Look, when Haaland has a bad game, Pep goes after him. He may have a good game, he may have a great game, but he make one mistake. You see Pep pointing it out in media, like, yeah, he could have done more. When Foden, and when Pep talks about his players, like when he praises his players, he did the same thing with Silva last game. He didn't just talk about how they attack. He talked about their defense, the all-round game. And we have a coach who has to cradle his players, like right now. And I kind of, how are you going to develop if you can't be coached? How are you going to develop? I mean, Rashford, I feel sorry for him. I thought that I was going to coach him. But, Bruno gets no coaching because his coach has to come to defense. Anyway, but like, when you see what Pep does and see what we do, and days like this, you realize why we ain't going nowhere. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. So I'm just get these 2 comments, guys, and let me wrap it. We competing with last show, guys. Like we.
Last couple of
3 hours, boy. Eric saying here, we are Manchester United. We can't be playing counter-attacking football, right? We are no better than Ole at the moment without the vibes, right?
Yeah.
Rion on the inside. Good night to
Hey,
you.
Rion,
Thanks
good
for
night,
joining,
man.
Hey, Brian, good night, brother.
Yeah. So, guys, I mean, we taken everything that was said as closing thoughts, right? And I just want to just add by saying one thing, and this is again on the point that JP was making. When the class of '92 came through, right, they were not just automatically given the burden to carry the team. These guys were filtered in. You understand? David Beckham, Gary Neville, Nicky Butt, Phil Neville, and Giggs and Scholes. I can't remember how much of it, but these guys didn't just come into the first team and was playing all the games. These fellows was coming off the
Nope.
bench. You know what I'm saying? So I agree.
Right
I
on.
really hope we do put that kind of pressure unnecessarily and affect and hamper the development of the likes of Garnacho, Kobe, Hoyland, you know, and who again might break out soon. So let me see how it goes. You know. So guys, again, thanks for coming on this evening. Nico, JP, Chef, Phil, Simeon. As usual, it has been a real top conversation. Those in the comment section, again, we do appreciate it. The likes, the shares, we have people staying on with me and we close to 2 hours. We appreciate it. Don't forget to like and share. We're also on YouTube. I'll do the thing now. All right? So everybody, have a good night. See you in the next one.
Good night.
Bless, brother.